Joha and the donkey. There was a lot of murmuring around Joha as he stood in the donkey bazaar, listening. Donkey sellers gathered around him, causing a commotion. Each one tried to convince Joha, saying, "You won't find a better donkey than mine anywhere in the world." "What a fine donkey!" Joha stroked his brown beard, thinking about this calm and gentle animal. His old white donkey could still serve him well, but it was gradually aging. Amidst the noise of braying donkeys and shouting merchants, Joha stood as an amusing sight. From his clothing, it was clear he was an important man, so every donkey seller wanted to do business with him. In the end, Joha liked a small white donkey because its ear movements and braying made it seem lively and calm. He spent half an hour bargaining with the seller. While the merchant praised the donkey's virtues, Joha pointed out its flaws. They haggled over 1 dinar, and in the end, they agreed on half a dinar. Though both were happy with the deal, they pretended to have suffered a loss. Joha took the young donkey's rope and rode his old, rusty donkey, beginning his long journey back to the village. On the dry, desolate road, where there was no food or water, nothing new entertained Joha. The road was the same old bumpy path, full of twists and turns. The scenery of the mountain road, still holding traces of winter snow, was also nothing new. It was a hot day, and the temperature kept rising. Joha knew his old, loyal donkey could find its way home alone, so he loosened the new donkey's rope, allowing himself to doze off. Before long, he fell into a deep sleep. At the same time, two villagers heading to the city for business came across Joha. Noticing that he was asleep, they whispered about his donkey. Masood said to his friend, "Look at that fine donkey Joha is leading." Suleiman replied, "I think it could fetch a good price at the bazaar." Masood thought for a moment and said, "Look, Joha is completely unaware. If you swap places with his donkey, he won't notice a thing. Just put the rope around your neck, hold still, and walk with him to the village. Meanwhile, I'll take the donkey to the market and sell it for a good price." Suleiman hesitated, saying, "Why don't you do it instead?" Masood reminded him, "Have you forgotten about my foot pain? How could an old man like me walk all the way back on foot?" After some argument, Suleiman agreed. He removed the rope from the donkey's neck, gave it to Masood, and put the rope in Joha's hand around his own neck. Then, he walked alongside Joha toward the village, while Masood took the donkey to the market. As Joha rode his old donkey, Suleiman walked behind, pretending to be the young donkey. Poor Suleiman had to endure the dust and droppings left behind by Joha's donkey. Every now and then, Joha would wake up slightly and tug on the rope. Feeling the resistance, he was reassured that his donkey was still tied and went back to sleep. Suleiman also tried to mimic the donkey's walking pattern so that the sound of his footsteps wouldn't alert Joha. Joha was too tired to look back. Just hearing the familiar sound and feeling the rope tug was enough to assure him that the donkey was there. Eventually, Joha's old donkey reached the stable, waking him up. When Joha's wife, Fatima, heard him arrive, she unlocked the door. Proud of his good bargain, Joha entered and said, "Look at the fine donkey I bought from the market." His wife looked puzzled. "What donkey? What are you talking about?" Joha turned around and, to his shock, saw a young man standing where his donkey should have been. Suleiman stood behind Joha's old donkey, with the rope still around his neck, unsure whether to bray like a donkey or not. Joha shouted, "Who are you? Where is my smart, fine donkey that I bought?" Suleiman lowered his head and said, "I am that donkey." Suleiman was clever and quickly came up with a story. "When I was young, I disobeyed my mother, and as a punishment, I was turned into a donkey. But when I found a kind master like you, I returned to my human form. Thank you for saving me." Joha stroked his beard, deep in thought. He didn't know whether to be happy for the young man's fortune or sad for his lost donkey. After a moment, he turned to Suleiman and said, "I paid a lot of money for you. But now, you are of no use to me. I will grant you freedom on one condition." Suleiman promised to do anything for his freedom. Joha said, "My condition is that you must promise to always obey your mother. Go home immediately and listen to her words. If you do as I say, you will always stay out of trouble." Suleiman made the promise and was set free. The next day, Joha had to return to the market to buy another donkey to replace the lost one. At the bazaar, he stroked his brown beard, inspecting the donkeys and comparing them. There were donkeys of all shapes and colors, from white to black and gray. Suddenly, one particular donkey caught Joha's attention. Its ear movements and braying seemed oddly familiar. Looking closely, he realized it was the same donkey that had turned into a human the day before. Joha approached the donkey and whispered in its ear, "You ungrateful boy. You promised to obey your mother, yet here you are again. Now, just wait and see what happens to you." But the white donkey didn't understand Joha's words. It only wiggled its ears and brayed. We hope you enjoyed this funny and educational tale of Joha and the donkey. If you liked this story, share the link with your friends on social media so they can visit our site. Also, check out our collection of bedtime stories, children's tales, and funny anecdotes on our website. We have created a world of beautiful and captivating stories for you and your beloved children. Now that you have enjoyed reading Joha and the Donkey, make sure to explore our full collection of Joha stories and delight in their wonderful lessons.